Recently, on my way to work one morning, I stopped by my local McDonald's to get some coffee. As I pulled up, I noticed the drive-thru line was fairly long, so I parked my car and went inside. As I approached the counter, a young man smiled at the customer in front of me, greeted him, and he said,
"Hi, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?"
The customer thought a few seconds and replied right back,
"Sure, I'd like a large Coke and a sausage McMuffin."
I watched the clerk punch the order, print out the ticket, place it on the serving tray, and proceed to get his food. When he came back to the counter, he placed the breakfast sandwich on the tray. The customer looked at the sandwich and said,
"Excuse me, I wanted a sausage McMuffin, but this is a sausage biscuit."
Now I was expecting the clerk to make some kind of statement like,
"Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get you that sausage McMuffin."
but instead he looked at the customer and replied right back,
"So you don't want what you ordered?"
Now I was surprised and kind of shocked, so I can only assume the customer was too. He hesitated a moment and then replied,
"Well, I thought I did order a sausage McMuffin."
The clerk responded right back.
"No, you didn't. You ordered the biscuit."
Then he picked up the sausage biscuit, threw it into the garbage bin underneath the counter, and called to the guys in the back to get him a sausage McMuffin. I turned and looked at the lady in line next to me, who had also heard the exchange. She just smiled and kind of shrugged her shoulders. The clerk returned a few seconds later, placed the sausage McMuffin on the tray. I honestly don't know if he said thank you or not, but I watched the customer pick up the food and go to a booth to eat. Nothing else was said. Now I'm sure the clerk believed the customer ordered a sausage biscuit. I would also guess the customer said,
"I thought I did order a sausage McMuffin."
The clerk felt as if he'd been accused of making a mistake. In response, he wanted to make sure that the customer knew the mistake was his, not the clerk's. Truthfully, I really don't know who ordered what. But as I look back at this scenario, three important points immediately jump to mind. First, for some reason, this employee felt it was important for him to point out that he didn't make the mistake. Of course, the customer didn't care about the mistake. The customer just wanted his food. Second, no matter what either of them could have said, both believed they were correct. The clerk believed the biscuit was ordered. The customer believed he ordered the McMuffin. Third, and this is the most important point, it doesn't make any difference who did or didn't order a biscuit or a McMuffin. This should never have been about who made the mistake. It should only be about correcting the mistake, period. Here's a question. If we went back and pulled the videotape of that transaction, and we could positively prove the customer had actually ordered the wrong item, does that justify the employee's comments? What do you think? Not sure? Well, ask yourself this. Would proving the customer made a mistake improve the relationship between your company and that customer? And after being proved wrong right there in front of everyone in the restaurant, would the customer feel better about your company? You see, that's the problem. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about what we do to make it right. Now, this kind of situation happens much more often than we'd like to admit. And we talk about some of those areas in today's lessons. Think about it. I'm Buck Jones.